The sun was beginning to set over the modest suburban neighborhood as 8-year-old Micah played quietly in the living room. His mother, Tasha, hummed softly in the kitchen, preparing dinner. She was a single mother, balancing 2 jobs, but she always made time for her son. Their bond was unshakable, strengthened by the many hurdles they had overcome together. Tasha had been a single mother for nearly 6 years. She was once married to Marcus, the love of her life and Micah's father. Their relationship had been filled with love and respect, but tragedy struck when Marcus died unexpectedly in a car accident. The grief was overwhelming, but Tasha resolved to stay strong for Micah. She threw herself into work and parenting, ensuring that Micah never felt the absence of his father, even as she silently carried the weight of her loss. Before we continue, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you. As Tasha stirred the pot on the stove, the soft creak of the back door caught her attention. It was odd, she never used the back door, and it was usually locked. She turned her head slightly, her brow furrowing, but dismissed it, assuming the wind had moved something. Moments later, Micah looked up from his action figures and froze. A shadow moved across the hallway, creeping toward the kitchen. It wasn't his mom. He instinctively ducked behind the couch, peering out cautiously. He saw a tall, burly man dressed in covered clothes and face covering. The man's face was hidden because of the face mask and the hoodie he was wearing, but his movements were deliberate and calculated. Micah's heart raced as the man entered the kitchen, and his mother gasped in surprise. The intruder grabbed Tasha by the arm, whispering something too low for Micah to hear. Tasha struggled, but the man pulled a knife from his waistband, holding it against her. Micah wanted to cry out, but fear paralyzed him. His mother's eyes briefly met his from across the room. It was a fleeting glance, but it carried a clear message: stay hidden. Micah's small hands trembled as he reached for the cordless phone lying on the coffee table. He remembered what his mother had told him countless times: if anything bad ever happens, call 911. His fingers fumbled, but he managed to press the numbers. The operator's calm voice was a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding. 911, what's your emergency? Micah whispered as softly as he could, his voice shaky. There's a man, he's got a knife, he's hurting my mom. The operator asked for details, but Micah struggled to answer as he kept his eyes on the kitchen. The man was rifling through drawers with one hand while keeping Tasha pinned with the other. She was pleading with him, her voice shaking. He's looking for something, Micah whispered into the phone. The operator reassured him, telling him to stay calm and stay hidden. Police were already on their way. Suddenly, the man shoved Tasha hard against the counter, causing a pot to crash to the floor. Micah flinched but remained silent. His small body shook with fear, but a flicker of courage burned inside him. He grabbed a heavy book from the coffee table, gripping it tightly. When the man turned his back to Tasha, rummaging through a bag he'd brought, she seized the opportunity and lunged for the door. But he was faster. He caught her arm and yanked her back, sending her sprawling to the floor. Micah clenched the book tighter, his instinct to protect his mother overpowering his fear. The sound of sirens pierced the tense air, growing louder by the second. The man froze, his head snapping toward the front door. Tasha used the distraction to crawl away, but the man grabbed her again, dragging her toward the back door. Micah couldn't take it anymore. Let her go, he screamed, stepping out from his hiding spot and hurling the book with all his might. It struck the man's shoulder, making him stagger slightly. The intruder turned, his eyes locking on Micah. For a terrifying moment, the boy thought he was about to be attacked. But the sirens were deafening now, and flashing red and blue lights illuminated the windows. The man cursed under his breath, shoving Tasha to the floor before bolting out the back door. Police officers swarmed the house within moments, guns drawn. Tasha sobbed as one officer helped her to her feet while others pursued the fleeing suspect. Micah ran to his mother, clinging to her tightly as she held him close. The next few hours were a blur of questions, statements, and tears. The police caught the man a few blocks away. His name was revealed to be Greg Tanner, a known criminal with a history of home invasions. But this wasn't just a random break-in. Greg had been sent by someone Tasha had unknowingly crossed paths with years ago. Tasha had worked as an accountant for a prominent firm that handled the finances of high-profile clients, some of whom were involved in questionable business dealings. Tasha was meticulous and ethical, but one day, she came across a series of suspicious transactions linked to an oil company. The numbers didn't add up, and the transactions seemed designed to obscure significant sums of money. Troubled by what she discovered, Tasha discreetly reported her findings to an independent investigator, believing it was her moral duty to expose potential fraud. Her anonymous report eventually triggered an investigation that led to the downfall of one of the firm's most powerful clients, Victor Raines, a wealthy and influential businessman. While Tasha had no direct connection to the investigation's outcome, Raines believed that someone within the firm had betrayed him. Though the firm distanced itself from Raines and his activities, whispers about who might have exposed him began to circulate. Years later, Raines, bitter and vengeful, fixated on Tasha as the possible whistleblower. In reality, Tasha had never kept any evidence. She had simply done what she thought was right and moved on with her life. But Raines was convinced otherwise. Determined to retrieve the supposed evidence and send a message to those who crossed him, he hired Greg Tanner, a career criminal, to break into Tasha's home, find the files, and eliminate any loose ends. Greg's mission wasn't explicitly to kill Tasha, but the implicit understanding was clear: no witnesses. His primary objective was to retrieve the phantom USB drive that Raines believed Tasha had kept hidden. Greg's ruthless methods escalated the situation when he confronted Tasha in her home. But Tasha had no such USB drive. The realization that her past had put her son in danger shattered her. Yet, amidst the chaos, she found strength in Micah's bravery. The revelation that Raines had orchestrated the attack was a turning point in the investigation. Police uncovered communication records between Raines and Greg, exposing Raines's role in the crime. This evidence not only exonerated Tasha from any wrongdoing, but also led to Raines being indicted for conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and solicitation of violence. The media picked up the story, initially portraying it as a random act of violence. But as more details emerged, the narrative shifted. Micah's courage and quick thinking were celebrated, turning him into a local hero. The aftermath brought a mix of emotions. Tasha struggled with guilt but found solace in the unwavering bond between her and her son. Micah, despite his fear, learned the power of bravery and love. Tasha and Micah moved out of their home shortly after the attack. The once cozy house now felt tainted by fear and unease, a stark reminder of the night a stranger had invaded their sanctuary. With the help of local authorities and supportive friends, they relocated to a secure neighborhood. Tasha ensured their new home was equipped with a state-of-the-art security system, and she took additional self-defense training to empower herself and feel more in control of their safety. Facing the trauma was not easy for Tasha or Micah. Tasha sought counseling for both of them, understanding the importance of addressing their fears rather than suppressing them. Micah, though initially plagued by nightmares, found strength in his bravery during the incident. Therapy sessions allowed him to process his emotions, while Tasha used the experience to teach him resilience and the importance of courage and critical thinking. They also found healing through activities like community volunteering and self-defense classes, which allowed them to regain confidence and trust. The accounting firm where Tasha had previously worked faced significant scrutiny after the events unfolded. While no direct charges were brought against the firm itself, several individuals within the organization were investigated for their involvement in enabling unethical practices. This included Tasha's former manager, who had turned a blind eye to suspicious transactions and failed to protect whistleblowers. Although the firm distanced itself from Victor Raines, the investigation uncovered a web of corruption that led to charges against several key players, including Raines's legal and financial associates. Victor Raines was charged with multiple crimes, including conspiracy, solicitation of violence, and financial fraud. His trial became a highly publicized event, serving as a cautionary tale about the lengths to which powerful individuals might go to protect their secrets. Greg Tanner, the man who had attacked Tasha, testified against Rains in exchange for a reduced sentence, providing damning evidence of Rains's involvement. As for Tasha, rebuilding her life was a gradual process. She focused on creating a stable and loving environment for Micah, immersing herself in her work and their shared hobbies. Though she was cautious about opening her heart again, she eventually met David, a kind and compassionate teacher at Micah's school. David had a calm, steady presence that complemented Tasha's resilience and determination. Over time, their friendship blossomed into love, and they married in a small, heartfelt ceremony attended by close friends and family. David's presence brought warmth and stability into Tasha and Micah's lives, and their blended family became a source of joy and support. Tasha continued to advocate for ethical practices in the workplace, using her story to inspire others to stand up for what is right, no matter the risks. Micah thrived in his new environment, finding strength in his mother's example and his own resilience. Together, they turned a traumatic chapter into a testament to courage, love, and the power of starting anew. They faced the future, knowing that even in the darkest moments, their resilience would guide them through. In this classic story, we are once again reminded of the need for us to prepare ourselves and learn some safety tips. We should also teach our children some quick safety tips in case of emergency. Micah was taught by his mother on what to do in the event of an emergency. This was put into use and saved both mother and child. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Home of Stories TV. And do not forget to turn on the notification bell for more inspiring videos. Drop your comments below, let us know your thoughts.